So these are just the basics. When you first log into Cricut, you're going to click on New Project, and that will open up your canvas. I will say that sometimes this can be a little bit glitchy. I just tried getting in a few times, and for whatever reason, it wasn't showing my grid lines. So if you're ever having issues, just kind of close out and try logging back in. So if you want to just do the basics, you can bring in your images that are already on Cricut. I'm doing mine from a free account, so I can filter by free images and see what Cricut already has. It's pretty limited as far as the free ones. You can look up all of the images that are already here if you're willing to pay for them. If you have a paid account, many of these are free. You'll see any of the ones with this green A. Cricut Access is their paid subscription, so those would be free. If you want to upload an image, let's say from Etsy, you can do that. So I'm just going to quickly go over to my Etsy account, and I can go to a download that I did in the past. I downloaded more before I really knew how to download things from Google. But when you buy an SVG file, which is typically what you're going to want to look for, you can really use SVG, PNG, or JPEG files in Cricut. But this was one that I purchased. It shows up in my purchases in my Etsy account. I'm simply going to click download files. And then I am going to download them. Make sure, just like anything, you know exactly where they're going. I always download onto my desktop, and I will just name this sample, and I will click save. So now, when I open that up, I just want to take a look at these images. It looks like this particular download went into Word. So you can see it did a Word document, and then it gave me a link to download those files from. So some Etsy purchases will do that. Some you'll be able to download the file directly. I'm going to click on this Google link and kind of go from there. So let's just copy and paste this into my web browser. So now I'm going to do the SVG files. I'm going to open those up. Sometimes they don't name them, so it's kind of a guessing game as far as which one I have. This is a file with 9 different images. So I'm going to open it up, and okay, let's say this is the image I want to use. I'm then going to download it. Again, make sure you know where you download it. So I'm going to name this sample 1. I always put things on my desktop just because they're easy for me to grab there, but that's my personal preference. So now I have it downloaded. Now I can go back to Cricut, okay? And I'm going to scroll down to upload. And I'm going to click upload, browse. Remember, to know where you're looking for, I'm going to click on my sample, and there it is. So it brings it in. Typically the ones that you download from Etsy, they already should not have a background. I'm going to then click upload, and there it is. So click on the image, add it to my canvas, and you can obviously resize. You can either resize from stretching from the corners, or you can go up to this bar here. So if I know already, okay, I want to have, and I'm going to make it really small just so I can fit it onto my screen for the purposes of this video. I want it 2 inches wide. It'll automatically adjust that for me. Now, if I want to use Google to upload an image and not pay for anything, I'm going to go back to Google, and let's just keep it simple. And I'll say I want the Bills logo. I'm going to click on images, and then we'll just pick this first one. Actually, let's pick this first one here. So I'm going to right click it. I'm going to save image as. And I want to look here when it says the image type. As long as it's the SVG, PNG, or JPEG, it's going to be good to go. Once in a while, the type of the image is like a web file. That will not work. So this is going to be my third sample. I'm saving it on my desktop. I'm going to go back to Cricut now, and I am going to upload image. and I'm going to browse. I'm going to find where it is, sample 3. I'm going to open that. Moderately complex is usually a good go-to. If you have a super detailed image, I would do complex. If you have super simple, I would do simple. So I'm going to click moderately complex and see what they do. Now, if you don't see that like white and gray checkerboard background, that means that the background is not removed. Now, if you forget and you click apply and continue, you're going to see it come in as just one big blob. So I'm going to go back. And again, with the free account, I'm going to manually select and just pick the background, and it will remove the background wherever I click. So let's say for whatever reason, I don't want the red stripe. So I can click that and it's going to remove that as well. But obviously I want that for this image. So now I'm going to apply and continue. If I like my image, I'm going to select it and I'm going to upload it to the canvas. Click it, add it to the canvas, and now I have my image. Now, right now, I just accidentally grabbed that and I stretched it out. I'm going to undo it. I don't want to distort my image. And if you're going to cut this, and let's say you want the body blue and the stripe to be red, what you can simply do is I would make sure you have it at whatever size you want. So let's say, okay, I want this to be 3 inches wide. This is definitely what I want to cut. I'm going to duplicate it. And now remember, you want to use the contour for this. So I'm going to change this guy just for purposes of the video. I'm going to change this guy to blue. I'm going to change this guy to red. And now I'm going to contour what I don't want. So on the blue one, I want to get rid of whatever the red stripe was. So I'm going to contour. I'm going to click that red stripe. And now I'm going to click out of here. So now I just have the blue body. For this one, I'm doing the opposite, right? I just want the red stripe. So I'm going to click contour and I'm going to click the body and the legs so that I'm only left with that red stripe. So now I have these two images. And let's say I just leave this guy here. When I go to make, it's going to automatically separate this into 3 mats, a black, blue, and red. Obviously, if you want to make your Buffalo Bill purple, just make sure that you have purple vinyl down on your mat. Whichever one you click on is the one that it's going to cut. And you'll see it turns this lighter gray background. So if I want to cut my blue first, I'm going to click on my blue mat. Remember, whenever you are doing permanent vinyl, so that would be like for your wine glasses, you want to just leave it as it is. If this was going onto a shirt and you were using heat transfer vinyl, you always have to click that mirror button. So it should always be a mirror image for only heat transfer vinyl. For your permanent vinyl, for your wine glasses, just leave it as is. And then you would just click continue. On your machine, and I don't have a machine connected right now, but on your machine, you have the dials that you can select if it's vinyl, if it's heated iron-on vinyl. You can also change it to custom. So for your glitter permanent vinyl that we used on the wine glasses, we put it on the custom dial, and then we changed it to the iron-on glitter vinyl. Because it was not cutting deep enough. So for things like that, it's sometimes trial and error, but typically speaking, just vinyl for your permanent vinyl on the machine, that dial works. And then your iron-on for your heat transfer t-shirt vinyl typically works as well. So I'm going to stop this video for now and go on to the next step. Here we go.